Great. The topic for today: human presence in a world of intelligent environments. I want us to take it a bit slower here. Let's define what human presence in a world of intelligent environment means to us. Paige, please. Let's start with you. What does it mean to you to be present in an intelligent environment? You're muted, Paige. Kindly unmute.
Thank you. When we think of the built environment, often we're considering like concrete shapes, right? But our heartbeat is the center of the city, right? Where dialogue and thought and change happens, where people come together and grow. Ultimately, when one considers what human presence is, it's not just a collection of data, it's a collection of heart. So
Hmm.
and I really believe that the best built environments would be responsive to that through immersive, creative, and data driven technologies.
Lovely, Paige. I love how you said it's a collection of hearts. Alina, let's bring you into this. What does it mean to you to be present in an intelligent
was just
environment?
I was just thinking about what Paige said, a collection of heartbeats, of heartbeats, because energy transfers into currency lately. So I'm also thinking about just being in meta, being present in the environment that is actively watching and responding to you means remaining the sovereign author of your own inner experiences and actions, even as the system itself continuously senses behaviors, emotions, vital signs, or attention to responsive nodes or AR layers and even more technological features. I mean, it involves the conscious affirmation that you are a living, feeling human and not just a collection of data inputs while you're exercising, a clear choice over what information you wish to share or wish to keep private.
Totally. Alina, when you go into the XR world, for example, as a person, how do you express yourself with other person? I'm trying to get what you mean by
How
trying to
do
be
I?
like when you are in an XR world, how do you express yourself creatively with others?
The creative. Okay, I'm just exercising through some clear choices of what information to share, what information to build sometimes, and what information to keep private. And I think creating this kind of presence and really means supporting and creating protector agents that guard or safeguard personal boundaries and identity nodes that keep me or people like me um, um, allow us to maintain self-awareness and ensure that this kind of environment acts as a reflective mirror rather than an overriding force, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I get what you mean, Alina. Thank you for sharing your perspective on that. Let's move the question to Dr. Z. Dr. Z, what does it mean? You're creative, you create content, you're a coach. What does it mean for you to be present in an intelligent environment?
Oh, I find it extremely exciting. I'm gonna take a different spin on it. I look at it from a marketing point of view. As a coach, as a creator, one of the things that this intelligent environment has created is the ability to reach more people. When in the past you have to depend on television or radio or print, now you can literally get on YouTube or on TikTok and reach 1 million people in less than a few hours and be able to share your amazing content, your amazing information with these people. So I think this intelligent environment creates a real opportunity for us to really get out there and showcase our talents, showcase our abilities, showcase our experience. I work with coaches over 50, and honestly, a lot of them are struggling with this environment because they get overwhelmed by the technology. But this intelligence is so amazing. I mean, it is a world that's constantly changing and absolutely exciting.
Totally, yeah, I agree with you, Dr. Z. Let's hear what Jay has to contribute to this. Jay, would you like to chime in?
Uh, yeah, sure. I mean, we've been exploring intelligent environments. I was really excited when AI first came on the scene in XR, in design and creativity. But I really am moving more and more towards a skeptic in this space. Environments that now are interacting and interpreting humans in that space. You're not just you and I in this environment behind me. Like, it's not just pretty. There's actually an environment taking place that is an actor inside that scene, and I just, part of my whole thing right now that I'm trying to think through is, uh, you know, basically invisible influence that feels like convenience. This is something that we've been warned about in a multitude of uh, authors and books long before we actually arrived here in this space. And Dr. Z, I push back on you a little bit there. The ability to efficiently get content out reduces our humanity to connect over specific things. So it seems like a lot of things are produced for efficiency and rationality, but humans are not. We are irrational, emotional creatures that are trying to find the best environment that fits us rather than have the environment start fitting humans for the environment.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I've moved from like a really excited person because I love Star Trek and every sci-fi movie and novel that ever came out to like 80% terrified. So
Jay, your perspective on this question is something I've been looking forward to hearing because we're moving from the social media that we interact with our cell phones to an XR world where we can become avatars and not interact as if we're there, right? And that's a very big shift to us right now in 2026. Orestes, I see you nodding. Do you have something to contribute to this?
Yes, for sure. I would like to start with a question. Let me rephrase the question. What does it mean to be present in the moment in an environment that's actively watching and respond to you? Because sometimes it's difficult for us as persons and human beings to be present in every moment, and moreover, with an enhanced spatial layout that translates into carrying a second consciousness. So I would say firstly that it's a part of an experience that takes you on not the way you view the room, on the way that you view the room enhanced with capabilities that they put you behind it to a second thought, the artificial, let's say, thinking of an artificial second intelligence, right?
Okay, Orestes, I get what you mean, but I have a follow-up question with what you just shared. When you move into an intelligent environment as a human, what does it feel like for you interacting with others? Do you connect with them as humans or just avatars? Do you also carry along the reality of the physical environment into the virtual environment?
The possibilities are endless, and if you also take into consideration the latest developments in the domain of Gaussian splatting, in which you can combine realistic environments with virtual avatars, I think the level of communication will move to the next phase in more intuitive ways and in the level that enhances communication in um, um, let's say, a gamified but also a realistic environment. So I think the term of present in the moment will shift to different directions from that moment. So yeah, like I have interacted with many persons in virtual environments in various locations. For example, at the stem of a flower, or in ancient Egypt, or into the moon, and we had like conversations that they were like beyond the limit of imagination. So yeah.
Aristus, thank you for sharing your perspective on that. Raju, we're coming to you with the next question, of course. Um, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Raju, you're a creator, an architect specifically, and you build systems. Tell us, how do we design intelligent environments for human agency first?
So we should think we should consider two things. One, for the betterment of the society, and the other thing is not to respect the privacy of the people. So one way we should help the communities to grow together and help them to achieve their things through the content and other things. And also we should also be aware that we should check the authenticity of the content. So I mean, people should not directly, so there should be authentic check for the content that is provided in the environments. So everybody cannot put whatever they like and whatever they feel that is good for them and for the other people. Okay, and there should be some controls for the various uh, people, like basing on their age and other things. So because a lot of people use it for different purposes, so I feel that there should be a control on that, what content is visible for the which type of uh, people and other things. So in other way, so in this present, I mean, in this presence, we can say that presence is no longer just physical; it becomes relational. You are present not only to other people but also to systems that observe, interpret, and react to you. This can heighten the awareness and convenience, but it can also dilute presence if individuals feel they are performing for the system rather than simply being in a space.
I agree with you that we should design for the people in mind, and also with the data privacy, or you mentioned with control and all that. I'll take it to Jay. I'll take it to Jay. Jay, what does designing for the human agency is to you?
I think that we've been really excited to get these environments and these spaces going, but one of the things that comes to mind for me is human agency is based on judgment from who you are culturally, um, gender, pronoun, whatever. It comes from a space that is unique, and you have a public sphere and you have a private sphere. And when we go into these digital environments together, is it all public? Is it all private? In terms of, if I go to your house, Alina, I'm going to be very respectful and be in your house if you invited me as a presence to your home. If I create a, a designed environment and I add an AI in there interpreting data, Raju, you do need control and moderation. Doesn't that directly take away from my agency just by its very fundamental nature? So, like, can we really design things with human agency in mind, especially considering, you know, the cultural and the individual aspect that each of us bring? And as soon as you add a moderator, you're doing that to control the worst behavior. And it's not a social norm, it's a moderator and it's a control. And you can't help but collect data if you start using AI for that moderation. So, just a host of things I would challenge. I don't know that we can design these environments truly for human agency without rethinking even what that means.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jay. I totally agree with you on that. It brings the thought of, are these systems supporting choice or are they replacing these choices that we have as humans. Let me take it over to Paige and then to Alina. Let me we'll go back to Dr. Z. But Paige, you are a community leader. You're involved with creating community engaged initiatives. How do you interact with these intelligent platforms? How do you interact with safely interact with it, knowing that the people coming here are humans first? They have choices, they have data, they have privacy, and tell us.
Sure. Well, at XR Women Museum, our foundation is rooted in using creative technology to amplify women and gender expansive people. We have a core ethical praxis. And in fact, our current exhibit even has an essay really surrounding like the X in praxis and equating to exploring what that X in XR really could be defined as. And I think that for me, within this essay, it really tied back to something that Alina was talking about is agency and sovereignty. And as Jay is saying, there is no way that can be. And I agree, because I think even in our most well-intendedness, okay, everyone who visits XR Women Museum, I have your data. I know how many visits happened certain days or in a week periods, and who that is and where you stood and what you clicked on. Thank you for clicking. But structurally, I live in a city where, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where the very technologies that we're using, some people purpose driven for good, those technologies are turned around and used against us for um, um, surveillance, for and we know that surveillance technology.
Uh-oh, Paige. You got
Paige, can
Paige,
you
you
hear
got
us?
redlined.
Accurately.
Oh, we lost that there. She'll be back. She'll be back. Alina, how about we
Here.
continue? Oh, you're
I'm
back.
sorry. I'm here. I'm here. Anyway, but all the ways that technology is being used against us, and even in this horrific war that's happening, the way AI is being implemented, and all of the I'm sorry, but not sorry, but all the ways that immersive technologies are used for hurting people in the world through military, through structural racism, through just all the ways that it is embedded because of our society. And should we say, oh, we can't design for human?
Okay.
I think she was getting to the
Oh,
best part
goodness.
right there.
Thank you. We have to be committed to using our technologies every day to fight against these structural inequities. Like it
Yes.
is our more than full-time job. It's our right and duty to do that. And we have this privilege while we have this privilege. And
Mm.
so my Wi-Fi doesn't seem good. I'll cut it at that. I always tend to like push it in these discussions to the taboo, but that's the problem. We can do the best we can, but we have to change this gigantic social structure. And since we can't, then we need to all work together to make it as best as we can. That's where that love comes back to.
Yes, yes, I agree with you. I agree with you that we need to change the moral code. I think it was on the first panel with Christopher and Sylvester, and she was mentioning how this technology are not being used as weapons, and all that. And that's the reality we live in. In the wrong hands, we do not have good technology. In the wrong hands, we're creating the future that is harmful, right? Jay and Paige. So I totally agree with you on the perspective. Bringing Alina and then Dr. Z and then Oristis and Raju. Alina, let's take up the conversation a step further. How are intelligent environments changing the nature of human connection in shared spaces?
Well, I was just thinking about concept of freedom by design on what
Mm,
Page was saying and on what you were discussing. Uh, Sometimes a hammer can be used to build or to destroy. Yeah, I'm going to
true.
answer you to this question right now about the intelligent environments and how they're changing the nature of human connection in shared spaces. Well, I think these intelligent environments, and I don't know, maybe I've been in them since 2006 when I joined Second Life, maybe not. I think they can improve connection by subtly sensing shared group moods, needs, applying Dirt's pyramid or Maslow pyramid, doesn't matter. But they can depict as well the energy through community defined nodes. And that's helping people feel more in tune and collaborate more naturally, or at least this is how it should be. But however, uh, they risk weakening real human connection when the system predicts social dynamics too accurately. So people may stop practicing the effort of reading each other's facial expression, let's say, like in nonverbal communication, the tone of voice, or the body language directly. Then these are just a few examples. But um, to protect genuine relationships, I think the environment, any kind of environment,
Mhm.
uh, must deliberately preserve what we call productive friction, the unmediated moments where people meet each other, or avatars meet each other, or agents meet each other without pre-processed cues or suggestions. When we have those a lot these days, yeah, shared spaces should enhance and not replace the spontaneous and sometimes even um, effortful beauty of direct human to human interaction.
Alina, I agree with the idea of agents needing each other, and I agree with that idea. I think it's fascinating. If there's this connection, that way it's easier to keep each other in check, right? To forge better mutual connections. Um, let's have Orestes contribute to this.
Yes, so I would like to make a small categorization here in what we are considering search spaces. Search spaces can be either fully virtual, immersive, like virtual reality spaces, or mixed reality spaces. In terms of the mixed reality spaces, I think um, the nature of human connection it's also tightly correlated with the current regulations. For example, when there are not clear regulations regarding the digital identity and digital identity protection in search spaces, how can someone be protected in terms of um, categorizing the way of speaking, sounding, even walking into public, and either private or sensible data that can be projected throughout this immersive Googles, let's say. Um, yes, in terms of agentic AI workflows, I think that yes, the human connection is also is shifting towards a more personalized connection and direction of these large language models, and also I think the regulations they have to be a little bit more tight and controlled after this large amount of data that have been taken from this mass rollout of these technologies to the public.
Orestes, I have a follow-up question for you. Can you say that we're connecting more or less deeply now with this intelligent environment, mixed reality, virtual reality? Can you say we're connecting more as humans or less?
Uh, every technology needs sometimes to like a little bit of time to be accepted from societies and be fully integrated with into a fair framework. But judging by the picture from um, the massive distraction, the dopaminic, let's say, generation of being into uh, an artificial world in a phone or in a screen or in a tablet, I think we should be more consciousness about uh, firstly the human connection and then the connection with nature and then enhance these connections with other technologies that they can help us also leverage the potential and understand more about the real environment or what we'll call real environment in this dimension.
Thank you for sharing with us, Orestes. Let's come to Dr. Z and then we'll go to Raju. Dr. Z, we're coming to you with the next question. Um, what happens to autonomy when systems anticipate us?
Well, autonomy is a human thing. And a lot of times I see in this discussion, we're talking about the technology and the AIs and all these things, but these are just tools. I will second Alina with saying hammer is a hammer, depending on who's using it, right? And all the technology that exists out there is all tools. What the connections are in terms of is how humans we're seeing both sides of it. I say it changed. It's not changing anymore. It's already changed. Social media changed that. When YouTube, when Facebook came online, when TikTok came, they changed it from social media to interest media. So does autonomy change? Autonomy is a very human-based experience. And we are generally autonomous beings. And I think what technologies are going to do is not change our ability to be autonomous, is changing our ability to communicate with each other in different ways. Look at how people are interacting with AIs now. They're preferring to speak to an AI than to another human because the AI is giving them some sense um, of care or some sense of empathy that they're not getting from other humans. So I gotta say, human nature. I mean, we talk about how we're tracking, how they can be used for military purposes. They're tracking our data. They're doing all these things. But those things have always existed. You go back to Napoleon, he was tracking data. He was trying to figure out what his enemies were up to. It has always existed in human nature to do that. Our ability to be autonomous comes down to our very natures, not based on the technology and what the automated systems are coming out to be. AI will change. AI will evolve. Humans have been pretty much exactly the same for hundreds of thousands of years. So, what is changing in autonomy? I don't think our autonomy will change. I think how we use our technology will change to maintain our own personal autonomy. Like, I don't have Alexa in my house. I don't want to. That's me making a choice and being okay with that, right? And it's the same for everything. You don't necessarily have to have a phone. There are whole cultures in the world that never saw a cell phone. So that is entirely a human basis and nothing to do with the technology itself. Your maintaining autonomy is up to you.
Dr. Z, thank you for sharing that. I do have a follow-up question with what you just shared with us regarding the autonomy. Okay, I'm going to ask the question with this perspective of using AI. We have ChatGPT, Claude, and so on. There's so many now, right? And I'm going to give a good guess that you use some of those platforms yourself as a creative. With these systems already designed, can you say that you're using it autonomously?
Yes, I am. Because I am deciding. Like, for instance, this morning, I'm a medical doctor and I have a medical clinic. And I was talking to my receptionist this morning about how to respond to patients who saw our social media commercials. So, and I created a whole bunch of prompts that allowed her to then answer questions patients are asking. When I was going through it, I now had to go through and adjust it and adjust the answers to match our cultural differences in Trinidad and Tobago. That's my autonomy. Yes, I'm using AI, but my intelligence, my years of experience, my years of training slips in there and says, okay, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. So I treat AI as an incompetent assistant, right? I have to review all their work all the time. And I know that it will make mistakes, it will put in things, it's always trying to please you. So it will do things that it thinks is doing something for you. You, as a free thinking individual, now have to sit down and make a choice. Do I use this or do I not use this? Do I adjust it to match what I want to see? That is autonomy. Not the fact that you're using AI. AI is just a tool. That's it. A scalpel in the hands of a surgeon can save a life. In the hands of a thief, it could stab somebody. Right?
Hmm.
So how do you use that tool? It comes down to your choice. And that is what I consider to be the autonomous individual, the free thinking individual.
Thank you very much, Dr. Z. That is such an interesting take. I'll bring it to Raju. Raju, if the
Yes, and
systems are already designed, are we still able to decide?
yeah. So final decision should be the human interaction, and the human. I mean, whoever is the final decision, they should take the final call whether to whatever the system proposed solution is acceptable to you and for others. So, man, at this point of time, it is too early to comment that the system is not biased, but over the period of time, when somebody may prove it wrong because it may be biased. So
Hmm.
when we have the instances in the past, some some of the social medias are biased and they are giving the information that they have it, and they are giving and selling it to the political and other things. So I'm not going to that way, but I can say final interaction, final decision should be in the human thing, and that tells us we should be more cautious while taking the final decision. We should not rely totally on on the machine or the programming, whatever some others did, because we know. Uh, See, at the end of the day, everybody builds the system and some other things for making some money, right? So we never know how they're going to get back that money from what they invested. So they can rely on other things which we never know. So we only use it. We think if you rely 100% on it, I can always say there's a danger. Okay.
Raju, Raju, when you say the system is biased, I totally like I have like an understanding towards what you just shared with us now on being biased and with the profit now in mind. I mean, if I build something and I invest my time, my money, my human resource, I want to make profits. It's natural as us as humans, right?
Yeah.
But then the end users, how do they suffer these things? How do the end users suffer these things? I like to take the opinion of Jay on this and then Orestes. Jay, I'm coming to you now. What do you think autonomy is like currently using these intelligent systems?
Non-existent. I, I don't think we have
I was
autonomy, Dr. ZL. I got to push back here. The fact is that these models have been trained. Nothing is free. I was speaking to a consultant the other day, and he's working with companies. And you have a receptionist at a human receptionist at the front of your company, and she wants her emails to sound the best she can. She receives an email from a confidential client. She puts that email into her free GPT uh, to rewrite it, but she's sharing confidential information to get the rewrite on that free version. And so she has involuntarily shared the information of that confidential person to the training of that GPT, and the next person that writes and triggers something might get information based off of that, just the email rewrite. um, there has not been an agent released that is a rewrite of our moral code or a rewrite of what how we want to do better. We've just replicated really terrible pieces of humanity's drive to control through efficiency. And I think that, I mean, if you look at these, all the major AI systems, there's not been one company that's come out and said, gosh, we want to make an AI that truly is moral, has a moral code. And of course, we all define morals differently. But if, you know, in general, our current world, our human world is to find connection on common ground with each other. Not to control your connection with me or me, you, but to try to really find common ground and to treat each other with dignity and respect. Now, there are some universal morals that we've never adopted as a globe for what dignity and respect means. And there's no AI bot or LMS out there right now that is focused on dignity or connection. It's focused on efficiency, control, and power. And so you may use that scalpel, but that scalpel already has some poison on its blade, whether you're going to be cutting out a heart or stabbing the thief. So I, I don't think it exists. I think we are entering too rapidly a phase of, back to my original thought of convenience veiled, or power and control veiled as convenience for us all.
Jay, thank you for sharing your expressions, your perspective on that. We do not have much time on our clock, but then I'll move to Alina to share more on transparency within the environment of the extended, sorry, the transparency of intelligent environments. Alina, do you think that these environments are transparent? With what Jay just shared with us, uh, currently designed with efficiency in mind, fast replies, fast results. Do you think there's transparency in the system?
Yeah, well, Jay talked in terms of a T4 model back in the beginning of modernism. And I understand that set of proficiency and so on. Now, the real human values come outside this design of AI, and just with the simple applying a simple method like the Dill's pyramid of neurological levels of change or anything else to input the scrapping or anything in AI could help. There are many ways, but yeah, I'm gonna answer your salvation and I'll try to be short. Um, I think intelligent environments, in a way or another, should be highly transparent and accountable. They're not so far. I can't say they are. They generally are. The system should give clear, plain language explanation of what it's sensing, what inferences it makes, and exactly how these inferences influence its actions. I mean, I've seen that in the European Union AI Act in the Article 13, which is very important from a perspective because it shows how we need to require high risk systems to be designed so that users, deployers, can understand and appropriately use these outputs. The outputs. I mean, users must own their data through bottom up governance, um easy rights to audit, correct, challenge, or delete both raw data and derived models and so on. And on the other side, we have the protector agents plus techniques like dual encoding and zero knowledge proofs that can keep personal information safe and to prevent black box behavior and to build real trust through ongoing real time accountability. And yeah, trust can evoke trust, but for now, the answer to a question is generally no,
Oh,
from my point of view.
so Alina, you think the system is not transparent currently,
Not completely, not enough, and
not
I'm
completely
sure
not
about that.
enough. Paige, I see you nodding. You agree with that?
Yes, I do think it's not transparent enough. I think that there are all kinds of um, ethical and system interactive ways of limiting actually the depth of the um, intelligence that there really may be underlying that we don't have access to knowing. I like lately, uh, even when I go to get groceries, I'll wear um, like clothes that limit the detection of AI. And I find that I'm also doing that in virtual worlds as well. I want to be seen, but I also don't want to be seen. I want to be seen on my own terms. And since those terms are not transparent, and certainly not transparent enough, and not necessarily on my side, uh, so I think it's important to create the levels of control that are right for you. At the XR Women Museum, currently in
Paige,
our
Paige,
Visibility as Practice show, we have 15 artists from 4 countries, 4 continents, showing how they choose to show up.
Paige, I'm
Thank
sorry I
you.
have to cut you there. Our time is up. It was
Thank you.
really nice to have this conversation with you all and hear your perspective on the subject on human presence in an intelligent environment. Thank you everyone for joining us. Orestes, Jay, Dr. Z, Alina, Paige, yourself. It's really good to be on this
Thank
roundtable panel discussion. Audience, speakers on LinkedIn. Please follow them, connect with them. Follow Dr. Z, J, Orestes, Page, and Alina. They are doing amazing work in their different fields and learn more from them. Thank you for joining us, panelists. Our that was well.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.